Alright, well, I'm actually kind of glad that this happened, but I was hoping to do this earlier tomorrow, earlier in the morning, but now that I've gotten off work and it's still sunny out, I realize it's because the way my house is set up is that the sun is kind of starting to set over there, so I get a lot of shade right now, so I might as well gonna take advantage of it, and because I'm wearing this, I get a little warm. So let's go ahead and test this out. The plan going into this is that we're going to have supposedly kind of like 3 rounds of combat, shall we say. What we have here are these 2 shields here with sort of the animal-like designs. Got the one with the dragon, the world serpent, and I have another one with the Norse raven. Those shields have a single layer canvas facing in the front. That's it. Basic shield right there. The second round are these shields here with sort of like drawn into like quarter sections here. These ones have the planks of wood are sandwiched in between a layer of canvas each. So you have one layer of canvas glued on the front, and there's one layer of canvas glued on the back. Whether that helps increase durability or just adds excess weight, I don't know. The third round here, shall we say, with these sort of like abstract shapes here. These ones have 2 layers of canvas, but they are located on the front, nothing on the back. So basically we have a canvas facing glued to the face of it, and then we have another canvas facing glued immediately right on top of that. So 2 layers in front to protect. Let's see how this goes. These are the shields that I'm going to be destroying. There's a kind of a color coordination going on. Got 3 of them that have kind of a blue color scheme. We have 3 that kind of have a reddish color to them. That coordinates with the type of canvas that is being used. The blue ones, the shields painted blue, have what's called the medium weight canvas that I'm using. It is kind of like just pretty much standard cloth that I'm used to. But I'm wondering if there's a difference between the other canvas. So I have extra heavyweight canvas on this one, which is a much thicker, heartier. It has a less bend, shall we say, less fold in the fabric, because it feels like a much more stiffer type of material. So we're going to see if that plays a difference into how the shields handle. Okay, we're going to start off with the first round, which is just the shields that have one facing on the front. That's it. No facing on the back. So it's the lightest of the shields. £5 1 ounces. Same type of shield with having one facing on there, but it's the more supposed to be the heavy duty canvas facing. We're going to see if there's a difference in weight. And that one, £5 7 ounces. So an extra 6 ounces of weight. That one, if you can see, reads £5 12 ounces. Oop, it does zero it out. There we go. Oddly enough, that one reads £5 5 ounces. So I'm wondering if it is because of the boss that is on there, because this one is the lighter duty boss, was not as heavy as this one, which doesn't feel as deeper, but I'll have to go check and see. I'm going to do a test on this and put the blade on this to see how well it's able to crush this, but we'll see if that affects that one there. This one being 2 layers, but it's only in the front. Nothing in the back to see if it'll help cushion some of the blow here. This one being the lighter of the two canvases. So we're gonna set to 0. I can grab it, there you go. There's a full 6 pounds. So the other one was 5 pounds, 12 ounces. This one's a full 6 pounds. And I'm wondering if that's just because of the boss or maybe just the type of wood. But yeah, so we're getting into that type of territory there. Same deal, 2 layers in the front, nothing in the back of the heavier, thicker duty canvas. All right, let's zoom in on that one. 5 pounds, 15 ounces. So again, all about 6 pounds as well. Okay, so yeah, that would be the reason why this one just feels so much lighter than this one does. Because as you saw on the weight there, even just having just one extra layer of the canvas brings it all the way up to 6 pounds basically. So feeling that in the weight, you can definitely feel that. Now again, prolong that with how long that whatever battle is going to be may tire you out anymore. So then this is the whole point of just figuring the top test here, so that having 2 layers, is it beneficial because it protects more, or is just 1 layer good enough and it is far lighter that it doesn't tire you out more? So we're gonna go see what happens here. Again, we're gonna try different ones of having a horizontal, forward thrust, and also like I showed in the other one where it seemed like the shoulder muscles seem to have better power doing a downward strike. So we're gonna test both of them out here. So, going to pick up this one. Might as well utilize it like we're going into battle here. Just right there. Starting to poke through and splinter that one. And of course the first one there. Down there. Did not see this or some more splinting as far as I can see. I don't think there's anything poking up on the back of there. Yep, nothing there. Now I'm gonna do some downward strikes. This was, even now, just doing all this and just keep carrying this whole time, is starting to wear just a little bit. And so that is something to consider. Like how long, if you would be in a battle, like having the lightest shield as possible that would do the job would be the most beneficial. So I'm gonna go set this one down. Punctured a little bit of the dragon there, and coming out of there. If you can start to see coming through there, I can see a clear hole coming all the way there. Again, showing to see how much more power I seem to get by thrusting downwards. One here. That one is there. Starting to show a little bit of splintering there. No, is that alright on the seam? Kinda does. Looks like it was right onto where the 2 boards get glued together there. if I can make a thrown spear attempt here. Fairly impressive. And the oaken handle was not the best. The screw actually came undone. The bolt actually just tore off. So that's why it's not right there, but that's why it's able to puncture through. But and it's even starting to split the oaken handle because it just hit her right on that particular point right there, right on the edge, that I was able to start splitting that part right there. So come on now. There we go. We're going to see how well this one holds up with a slightly heavier, thicker version of the canvas. Still not able to penetrate through quite yet. So I don't know if that's just because it was the underhanded thrust or if it's just the way the canvas is helping out. So getting a little bit of splinter in there. Noticing that the perpendicular sort of thrusts, or the blade going perpendicular to the grain, does not seem to be able to penetrate as deeply. And going with the grain of the wood, able to puncture through there. Now I'm going perpendicular with the grain. See the cut with the wood grain planks going this way, cuts going this way. Now I'm able to penetrate through. Just barely poke through. So the nails are starting to become a little bit loose there, holding the boss in place. It looks like it landed straight into the oaken handle there. Take a look and see if it splintered like the previous one. But been directly into the and I'm wondering, because now that this one was actually properly screwed on, that I was able to hold into place. Maybe just that was because of the fault right there, I don't know. of impact through there. So that's far went in there. Coming out. There we go. See now, something I don't know if you saw there, but cut the twine, which would make sense coming through. So I'll have to see like how difficult it is to like retwine the whole thing, or if they would just patch that up a bit for just that one ish. So another thing to look into and research and see how well that would go. Now that we're going with the grain here, still, no matter what you can do, the wood will always go take the path of least resistance. Pull it out. I get a two-handed. Ooh. With the gambeson on here, it's a little bit harder to get the two-handed strike. Just so happened to land in a place where they had doubled up the rawhide. See where this one was coming in, and then to make sure there was rawhide over everything, I had to overlay this one, so it happened to actually hit on 2 layers of rawhide. So I'm guessing that's why it was a bit more shallower than normal, or why it kind of sort of bounced up as it did. Does seem to be stopping it a little bit better just for the initial feeling as I'm cutting into it. does seem to have a bit more resistance than the lighter canvas did. Being thicker seemed to stop it from going further into the shield than the blue one did. So, looks like it's holding up to its name. Also seems to be pressuring the blade and getting it stuck in there, which would be a good thing for you because if you were the one holding the shield, because then your opponent would have his weapon stuck, embedded in your shield, and now they've lost their primary weapon. So there goes the air conditioning unit. I don't know how loud it is for you. Hopefully you can still hear me. That's more like it. Yeah, two-handed strike with the grain. What? So all the way up there. And splintering of the wood. Just step it right back into place. We're gonna go ahead and do an archery test now. Why not? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. This spot right here is where I'm gonna be. So we'll have 10 paces. It's currently what we have right now. There we go. All right. First thing, where did it happen? There it is. Along with our two different cuts earlier, this little piece of rawhide has just snapped off. We have that one, which is not bolted on, but there we go. So our arrows have a couple. Oh, looks like we got one poking out. I don't know if you can see that. Coming through the handle there, but that was one that was already split before. Looks like we happen to have two arrows. One coming out this way, and then the previous one, which was the broadhead arrow. So I do forget which one hit first, but they happen to be both in the same area there. Yeah, and then the two of the arrows, if you saw, or if you heard, but they hit the boss right there. I'm trying to get it without the arrows hitting the camera, but there you go. Before I pull these out, just wanted to just get the idea of what it would be like if somebody, had shot arrows into your shield and you had to run around with these things still in them. This the weight they would be like having these things in there. Adds a little bit of weight to it there. Wants to make it tip down and forward there, yeah. Unless you do like that scene from 300, where Leonidas takes a spear and just smashes them. I have no idea if that will work with these type of arrows, but it looks cool in the movie. 10 paces away. Seems like that the thing, just the layer of just one layer of canvas did not seem to affect it too much of a difference there. The arrows seemed to penetrate. Again, that was probably because it was all right on the seam where the glue was, the boards. But the other arrows, including the broadhead, was able to puncture as about the same as the other one was. And where exactly it hit? Okay, so it looks like it dented right there. That is where the arrow punctured. Well, not punctured through, it just dented it because it didn't go through the entire thing. See some of the nail holding the rivet has kind of come undone there. Alright, going with final verdict on the single layer shields. Pretty minimal difference as far as I could tell. As far as the sword test was cutting into the edge, it seemed that the thicker rawhide seemed to help hold it up a little bit better. As far as puncturing through-wise with the spear and the arrows, seemed pretty consistent both ways. So just depending on whether, if you happen to be in a duel where the sword comes into contact with the edge, you might want to have a little bonus, but then again, it makes it a little bit heavier. The one layer of canvas does not make it too much heavier on comparable with just one layer. When it gets to being 2 layers, then it's a bit noticeable. So as far as I know, pretty negligible on those ones. So that is the first round. Let's go to the second round. Alright, so now we are getting into more of the heavier dutier shields. This one, as I said, has the facing on the front, and it has one on the back, just to see if that will do anything to it. Obviously increases the weight. We'll see if it increases the durability and endurance of the shield. So this is the medium weight, normal canvas. And then, I don't know if you can see it over there, there's the red one. That's for the heavy duty. So starting with the spear. I'm gonna go. Just starting to puncture out. Again. I'll poke out the back there. Having a canvas, and then not much splintering going on in the back there, so I'm really liking having that on the back, just so that if there's fragments coming around, they can get easier for repair on this side. So so far I'm liking having one on the back. There, and just starting to poke out the backside there. That felt like it hit some oak. Yeah, it did. So, got into the oak handle there. And then, if you can even see it, but the black paint securing it very well. And alright, So it's starting to splinter. Can we just press it back? Most likely it looks like it can. Just get a little bit of glue maybe. So that's pretty nice with that way. Again, this is the weakest of the bosses there. I was kind of hoping that I might hit it there. So your hand would be gone if it happened to go through there, because if you can see where it is. If I can poke it through there. So there's yeah, your hand would be gone. If you can see completely through it there. But on the back side, again, it's starting to splinter. But I wonder if you just, yeah, you can just press it down just a little bit, put some pressure, get some glue maybe, and I think it'll be good to go right there. Whoops, sorry. Just shield bash. Boom. But again, the black paint kind of scaring where it is, but that's where it's starting to separate there. Nothing really hopping in over there. Just starting to poke through, it looks like. Just preliminary findings seem that the heavy-duty canvas does seem to be stopping it a little bit better than just the light one, the regular one over there. One there. And the power that comes with a downward strike. I'm going to press it back down into place. Very close to the handle, but did not hit. Press it down, you're good to go. even throne wise, just because of the facing on the back. I guess this would be a facing, canvas backing. The splintering seems to be helping out a lot. Of course, it's just aesthetic wise, really, but seems to be like it's helping out functional wise. Again, we will be comparing this to how well it does as compared to having one on the back, one on the front, as opposed to the other shields over there, which just have 2 layers on the front, if that makes a difference. Wow! Now, this is also a little bit different rawhide, so I don't know if that has anything to do with it. This is the old rawhide that I had, and it's slightly thicker than the ones that I had, so I don't know if that's anything to, but just the impact would just seem to like just stop it dead in its tracks right there. Man, mind you, I'm trying to hit this thing pretty good, and it's just stopping. So I don't know if it's just because there's 2 layers. I don't think that would make that much of a difference with having 2 layers on her, but I'm thinking also the addition of this type of rawhide that I have on there. Let's see if I can get one with the grain here. Wow. Look at that. That is pretty cool. Okay, yeah, see, that's kind of more, that's what I was kind of expecting, but that's now that just being the first strike that's like that. Sorry. Shield bash. Alright, so that would be something to test because I think I only have one more shield that uses this type of rawhide. So we'll have to go and check and see if the other rawhide does the exact same thing like this one does. But this one was impressive. Okay, now, this is what I was talking about. This one has the heavier canvas, but I don't know if you can tell on the rawhide, this one is a different type of rawhide here. It's a much thinner type of rawhide that I got. Accordingly to that one over there, Justin Frame, was remarkable. So we're going to see how well this one does. In theory, if rawhide is the same, it should handle just as well, but we're going to see how that holds up. So this is the handle here. One-handed strikes here. Okay. Off the bat right now, that was pretty good hit, and it stopped it pretty good. So maybe it's just the way that just most of that is just being the double canvas right there. We'll see if the rawhide is affecting it as well. Like this also happened to be a double portion of rawhide that it just happened to overlap here. Okay. Having one on the front and one on the back does seem to significantly improve just having one on there. As far as I can tell, mind you, this is again perpendicular with the wood grain here. We'll see how it goes going this way. Two-handed strike. Okay. I think that does it for the sword test. Let's do some archery. Again, we're about 10 paces away. Alright, what do we got? So this is where it punctured through the boss in the center there. There's the hole it made, and there's the previous one where the spear went through there. We're just looking at the types of arrows that managed to get through. Even the broadhead ones seem to sink in about less far because of the second facing, I should call it a backing, because of the canvas backing on there. Not a whole lot of damage here. A couple of those in there. The rawhide on this one, the blue one, did a phenomenal job. This one was kind of just really the average rawhide, but having both of the facing and the backing, I felt did a tremendous job with the both impact of spear and bow, and also the digging into the edge with the sword over there. Seemed like, again, like this one did a little bit slightly better than this one there, with the exception of the rawhide itself. So if I were to get like this type of rawhide onto this type of canvas, I think that would be fantastic. That will be something that I have to look at. But my batteries have practically all been spent, and I don't know if you can tell, but it's getting dark out here. I don't know how well it is, but it's essentially darker out here. So I'm going to wrap it up and continue this tomorrow and do the last two over there, and hopefully editing wise continuity will be fine. So we'll see how that goes. So we are in day 2 now. I don't know if you can tell because the sun is casting shadows this way now, as it is about 10 o'clock in the morning right now, as opposed to being 6 o'clock in the evening as opposed to the other day.
Got the final two shields that I got to test here.
The impact force of having 2 layers in the front and having nothing in the back, whether that is necessary, if just one is adequate. But here we go. Penetrate through there. I'm going up perpendicular to the grain here. Looks like it was not able to actually fully penetrate. And there I was just able to poke through. And that right there. Sorry if the shadows are casting on there. If you're able to see it. Maybe that'll be this one here. Let's go ahead and go with a downward strike now. Love to see how Boss would handle, but there's it embedded into the handle there. Now we can see it. Can you see it there? It's coming through. And splintering of the wood because there's no canvas backing. Again, preliminary tests showing that having a double facing LaFon doesn't seem to be stopping too much with the impact of the spear there. Likely right along the seam or with the glue there. So this one has the heavier duty canvas. We'll see how that works. And poke out there. Just barely. Just barely able to poke through there.
Starting to split, but I don't know if actually the point is actually able penetrating through there. There's... Oh, just missed the handle there. I think that just missed the handle too. Yep, now we're on the opposite side. I guess it's matching. You know, you have one side, then you have to do the other. Life's all about balance. Doesn't seem like having 2 layers in the front is helping with the spear test so far. We'll see how well it handles up to the arrows, and I'll do some cuts with a sword. But again, that was like with the grain there. But it doesn't necessarily seem that it needs to have a secondary facing in the front. Again, the splintering that you see because it doesn't have the facing on the back. Now, this shield, I don't know if you can tell, but this one has the thicker type of rawhide than usual. This is the one that I got from Menards. So again, I don't know if that is going to factor into how this test is going to go, because the previous shield that we had like this, it had a the thicker type of rawhide, and it stopped it significantly more than just the normal rawhide, the thinner type. So. Oh yeah. I do know that the rawhide thickness definitely seems to be helping on this type of shield. We'll go sum up later when we look at the having a facing and a backing, but I know that this particular type of rawhide is stopping the blow quite substantially. This actually happened to get a double layer of thickness. This happened to be the overlap. So that is probably the max amount of protection you could get from that right there. Two-handed strike. Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah. I think that particular rawhide is helping stop it quite substantially. This one is the lighter rawhide, so we're gonna see if that does anything different. We have a heavier duty canvas, two facings in the front, none on the back, but we're gonna see if the rawhide itself does anything as opposed to the previous one, because that one handled pretty well. I'm gonna see how well this one does. So far about the same. So in these type of cuts, I think that even that, again, this would be probably about expected for, but just noticing that the previous one, having the thicker rawhide, even coming in with the grain, stopped it a little bit better. Had a couple arrows come on through. I'm seeing quite a few of them. Now again, because different types of arrowheads used in the medieval period, but it seemed that quite a few of them, just these particular types of arrows, got stopped pretty much immediately. So again, put more force behind the bow, you can penetrate you further, because you'll probably be using at minimum probably an 80-pound bow, whereas mine is 20 pounds. So I'm using 1/4 the amount of power that these arrows are launching, but it does seem to be, as far as these arrows are concerned, helping to stop it a little bit better. But we'll have to go back to the footage and see how well the canvas facing and backing, as opposed to just two on the front. We'll see how that goes. So, what's the damage done? One fully penetrated, but it was just hit it with some now force that it dented and punctured it, but then it just bounced back in the footage that looks like I saw there. But then it was like when some of the arrows are bunching up together, it's able to puncture through farther because there's already been like a hole or a weakness there. Same thing from over there. We got like a couple arrows right there. So the double, because of the heavy duty, doesn't seem to be adding enough protection in my mind to prevent certain things going through, that it would need a double facing on the front. Again, I'll have to compare it with the facing on the front and the back, but I think just one layer of canvas facing is just necessary. Okay, so we're done pretty much the shield test that we did. I'm gonna do one final test. I'm gonna go ahead and take the sword, and I'm gonna go ahead and do see how well the canvas facing holds up, and also I'm gonna see if I can destroy the central boss. And it's because I have different types of metal bowls that I'm using to see how well, whether heavy duty lives up to its name basically. I know it's gonna do better than just regular normal stainless steel. But that'll be the final test. We'll take a overall wrap up, and then we'll come to our conclusions here. Single canvas facing in the front, none on the back. Let's see what type of boss this is. I believe this might be the Volrath. Yes, this is Volrath, so that's supposed to be the better quality of steel boss, but here we go. And of course the air conditioning comes on right at that time. But single canvas, even medium weight, the medium grade, and that Volrath bowl did pretty good. Slashing wise, it's able to hold up. It was the bow test, specifically that pinpoint point of pressure was able to puncture through it, whereas a more blade, a wider force trying to go through there wasn't able to. So far just single facing is fantastic. And this is heavy duty canvas does pretty much the same thing. Not a whole lot of damage. I mean, you can see some good gashes there, but it's holding the shield pretty much in place. And this one is, so I don't 100% know which one that is. It's a Winco, but we will see how well it hands with a. Aha! Seem to withstand the blows very well, but the nails that I was using seem to come undone there. So no fault on the actual bowl itself. This one feels like the more heavier duty one as well. All right, let's see if I can. Some fairly nice gashes in there, but nothing that's able to penetrate. Again, this has a backing on it as well. But yeah, so now this one, this one is this is the Winco. This is the Amazon one. So this one is the light grade. You're gonna see. So you can see the spear completely penetrated through there, and we had an arrow go through there. So I do not know how well this one's going to handle up with the sword here. But here we go. Okay. Yeah, that's about what I expected there. That bowl is no longer there. Oh boy. So you can even grab it from in there. I mean, yeah, okay, so it's not too bad, but you can still grab it, but yeah, not from that, but from this angle. Okay, yeah, from this angle I can still maneuver it a little bit this way, but yeah. The heavier grade. Quite minimal gashes on there. Heavier grades seem to do a lot better for cut-wise on this one. Similar to the one that just caved in. But let's see, it's just different, just slightly different style, but we're gonna see how well it holds up. I don't think it's gonna do very well. Nope, of course not. So, again, it looks like maybe this side I can able to maneuver a little bit, but that boss is completely crushed. Here we go. Blue is the medium grade, standard. Does seem to indicate that having 2 layers does stop it definitely a bit more, but whether or not you think that you need that extra weight on there to help carry into battle, or do you think just 1 is enough? In my mind, I think just 1 is just enough to get you through. But yeah, having the 2 just of their medium quality seems to stop it a little better. This one, the boss is the Winco Heavy Duty. So this one should not completely cave in, but it should, but it will still dent as far as I know. Here we go. Yep. So yes, it still, putting amount of force on there will still dent it, but the heavier duty steel definitely hold up. And these things would actually be ones that I would put onto like kids' shields. I would actually get a full steel boss made for like actual combat to put on the actual shields. I'm just testing to see if these ones would be fine on kids' shields, where they're using much less force that they're able to use. That would definitely protect their hands right there. All right. About the same amount of stuff, maybe a little bit slightly better. But then again, having the 2 layers of the regular, the medium canvas seem to do just about as adequate right there. So it does seem that having 2 layers in the front does help cushion it better on main sword attacks. It seemed to also cushion it a little bit better on, as far as I know, as my bow, the 20-pounder, is able to penetrate the arrows. Again, if I have an 80-pound bow, I have no idea how well that will withstand. But the boss, okay, so this one is the Volrath Heavy Duty. So this one should be the best quality of the bowls that we have right here, even though it was still able to puncture because it had that pinpoint of pressure rather than this a full edge contact going on there. Yeah, able to dent, but still, and of course this one has a much more deeper well as well, so you have much more, tear that off there, have a much deeper well for your hand in there. There's much more of a bowl right there. So I'm definitely liking that. So I'm going Volrath myself. So let's go come to the top and take a look at these on here. All right, so there's all the shields that we just destroyed from a far off glance. I don't know if you can tell the difference that we just destroyed them. Taking a freeze frame here so we can discuss over the best options in the shields. If I can get some numbers above these shields. There we go. So we might figure out who would be a winner in this sort of competition, shall we say. If I had to pick a winner, it would be number 4. The overall quality of having the boards sandwiched between the canvas facing and canvas backing, in my opinion, was the best option. And if you could afford the little extra weight in the heavier canvas, I believe it is worth it, as it performed a bit better than the medium grade that it is worth it to have it on. Speaking of medium grade, I would say the second place would be number 3. If you were not able to get higher grade canvas, or if you might like a slightly lighter shield, the standard medium grade behaved adequately, less than the heavy grade, but I do want to give a shout out to the rawhide on that shield, as the thicker rawhide edging performed remarkably well on that one. And the third place would be number 2. Granted, there seemed to be slightly more protection of having a double layer in the front, but I don't know if it is worth it, in my opinion, to go through that extra work of cutting the rawhide, gluing it to the shield, and now having to carry that extra weight when I believe just one layer would be adequate. Especially in the frontal sword attack that we saw, the single layer withstood just as well as the double layered canvas. Alright, so these are my thoughts on the second shield destruction test. Did not think it would take 2 days to film this, let alone edit this monstrosity. It was quite a bit of fun, and you got to see me try my new Gambeson that I got. So I've got my armor, I know what shields I like, and I'm ready to face the challenges ahead. I'm off to complete a noble quest. Fare thee well, adventurers!